Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. I'm just going to say welcome to this week of Gear Report, episode 205 for the 18th of April, 2024. Hi, I'm Jeff. I'll be your tour guide this evening. And you know what? That track is called Feeding the Ducks. I think we're going to stop that. There we go. So, welcome to the program. I think we're going to not sure what's going to happen tonight because Kevin was in here when I logged in, and then his screen went black, and a minute later he disappeared. So I'm assuming he's having some sort of technical issue and is going to attempt to come back and join us at some point. So I'm going to save his review. I published 3 reviews. I think I've got 7 more in the queue that are ready, like they're in the in review status where an author has submitted them, and I just have to look over and do the final editing and hit publish. I think there are 7 left in there, and then I've written, I don't even know how many lately, that are almost done. Like I've written the bulk of it. I need to go through and do some editing and add some pictures, and I'll be able to publish. I got a whole bunch of those, whole bunch of videos that are coming, whole bunch of pictures of the Battlewagon 4, and maybe even some of the Battlewagon 3 that I'll share with you. So let me change something on the other screen here, and then I will make that visible. Man, I've got way too many windows open over there. There we go. So now we'll make that bigger. And what do you say? Let's dive into it. So as you can see on the ticker below, this week Gear Report streams live every Thursday. Let's do most every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we are sponsored by our friends at Sylvan Arms. So thanks. Go check them out if you like the sound of them and you want to see what kind of things they're doing. I'm going to pull this up on the screen now, and AJ has been cranking out the reviews. He's got a whole bunch of them in the queue. I think of the 7 that are in there waiting now, probably 5 or 6 of them are AJ. So we did one of his today. I'm going to start pushing some more of his out here shortly. We're going to start with this one, the Go Dark Faraday bags for cell phones. And he gives it 4 out of 5 gears, which, you know what, now's probably a good time to revisit what that means. 4 out of 5. Notice 5 is perfection. And we've never given a 5.0 because we have yet to find the absolute 100% perfect product. So I doubt we ever will, but who knows? Maybe it'll happen at some point. 4 is pretty good. It stands out as a top option in the product class and price points. That's what we're looking at here. That is very high praise. I know in working with some brands on Amazon, they get really upset if they get anything less than a 5. And that's where sometimes we have to set expectations with brands. Like, what do you mean we didn't get a 5? Isn't our product great? I'm like, yeah, it's not how it works here. A 5 is a real 5 here, not like an Amazon 5 where people fudge it. All right, so you can get these Faraday bags off of the Go Dark website or on eBay, and you can read through here. You know what? I need to put the link out here for everyone. There we go. That is in the... Oh, look at that. We're actually on the Gear Report Humvee channel this evening, as well as Gear Report Firearms and the original Gear Report channel. And we are on, oh, it looks like Rumble has failed. I'm going to have to do some research and figure out why our stream on Rumble failed. We are on Odyssey and on X as well, it looks like, and on Twitch. So we're all over the place this evening. If you want to follow along with this review, that's your URL. I'd like to say greetings and salutations to the gun snob. We get partial yos this time, not the full yo, which, you know, we hadn't earned it yet, so that's okay. That makes sense. I'm okay with that. So we have, by the way, moved into our first segment of this week at Gear Report that we call Recent Reviews. I just dove in and forgot to even tell you what we were on. So the idea with these bags is you put your phone in it, and it does all the great things that Faraday bags do, like blocking certain types of signals for all the communication stuff that you normally find in a cell phone, for GPS, for phone signal, for Wi-Fi, for Bluetooth, all of that type of thing. So that can be really useful if you have a need to block those. It has the Molly straps on it, so you can attach it to Molly gear or a belt loop or whatever. You can read more about the pros and cons of this, but it did get 4 out of 5 gears. That's a pretty good rating. So thank you, AJ, for posting that. Let's see here. Oh, Gizzard Gary did not shortchange us with just the O's. He did the full YO, 3 O's. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Lacking the trademark that gives me heartburn at times. So also appreciate it there. Moving on, we have gone from kind of general gear to firearms. Caleb, our hunting editor, has got the Roscoe Manufacturing K9. It's a 12.5-inch Sage Dynamics barrel and sauce pack review. I don't even know what the sauce pack thing means, but I am going to grab this URL and drop it in the discussion. And you are welcome. I highly encourage you to go check this article out and see if you can figure out what a sauce pack is based on this. Oh my goodness. So we already looked at the gears ratings here. We had a 4.0 on the last one. This one, 4.5 gears, likely the best product in its class and price point. That is a pretty bold statement from Caleb, and he can be a little bit of a gun snob. I'll be honest. Not a gun snob in the sense that it has to be expensive, but he appreciates I'm going to say he appreciates quality firearms and gear. And when he finds something he likes, he doesn't care what it costs, but he's going to be, very, very vocal about how good it is. And I think that's the right kind of gun snob, and he can spell and write and all the things that some other gun snobs might struggle with. So we'll just leave it at that. He's got some links so you can purchase it from, let's see, Primary Arms. I'm not sure where the other ones are going. Roscoe Manufacturing. Okay, good. So the links, if you want to get some of these, you can read all about it here and see some of the specs of what Caleb used for testing. He's got them all linked here to make it easy for you. His field test results. I am jealous. Caleb's got a really nice setup. He lives someplace where he can walk outside and just start shooting and the police don't come. He's got a really nice setup out there with his different shooting barriers and all this stuff that he uses, as well as I think he's still got one of my pieces of steel that's like a little mini silhouette, and I think he's still got my chronograph too. I'm gonna have to check into that. That's been years. Here's your bolt carrier group specs down here at the bottom, and then the rest of the kit, all the specs that you wanted to see there. So please go check that article out if you have any interest in it. And the gun snob says my attorneys will be in touch. And you know what? Congratulations, gun snob. You spelled attorneys right. That I'm not even going to say that was unexpected. I mean, of course you spelled it right, right? I mean, no one here is surprised that someone from Oklahoma can spell attorneys, right? So let's see. I really wanted to hold off. Let's give a little time before we get into the gun pegboard review, because Kevin submitted that one. Suppressor Man submitted that one. And like I said, he was here when I logged in right before we started the show, and then his image locked up and then he disappeared. So he may be rebooting and trying to get back in. I don't know. I really don't. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take that off the screen. We'll give him a chance to see if he is able to correct his issues and get in here. And if we get done with what we're going to talk about here and he's not back, then Yeah. Okay. Gun Snob is getting spicy in the comments. And you know what? Any comments help with the algorithm. So I'm going to ask anyone who's out there watching, please, if you're on a platform where you can like or share or anything like that, please consider doing that. It helps us out to get it out in front of more people. What we're going to do now, I have got some pictures in here. Oh, Defense Dad has joined us as well. Thanks for being there. We appreciate you. We've already covered a couple recent reviews. I'm going to take that recent review banner off for the moment. Excuse me. And he does see gun people. That's pretty common on this program. So let's see some of the progress. Here is probably the first thing that I want to show you guys, and I'm going to move my picture down to make that bigger so you can see what's been going on with the different battle wagons. You'll notice the Battlewagon 3 in the background is all purdy again. So I went around it yesterday. I mixed up some bleach water and some heavy soap. I say heavy, some strong, concentrated soap in the little container that feeds the pressure washer. So as I was pressure washing, I put the nozzle on that just sprayed the foam on it, let that sit, and then came back and blasted it all off with the pressure and got all the dirt and funk in a couple places where there was some stuff growing on it. All that's gone. It looks good. This morning I went out and took the shop vac to the interior. So it is ready for the guy that wanted to come see it pretty soon and give me a deposit so he could purchase it. It's ready for him. I got the front bumper off of it. You'll notice it is not on the Battlewagon 4 yet. That front bumper is sitting in the garage over at Jose Juan's because that's where my engine lift is. Defense Dad says in Jeff's neighborhood, he's the gun guy equivalent of the dude with the Camaro up on blocks. Dude, that's not nice. Yeah, well, no, I mean, my stuff's not up on blocks. It generally works most of the time. Like 3 of the 4 trucks, 3 of the 4 Humvees that I got didn't run when I got them, and I made them run in reasonably short order. This one, I thought this camo truck was going to be running by now, but I didn't want to deal with changing the fuel injection pump by myself. I've done it before. It's not a job I like doing. James was going to come do it, and he hadn't been able to get it in his schedule yet. So James, the Humvee Whisperer, happens to be local to me. He is actually nationally known as a Humvee mechanic, and he drives right by my road, my house, a couple times a week. He's that close. He's just in so much demand that he hadn't been able to sneak in and get that done. And we're all getting ready for a big military vehicle show here in North Carolina, about an hour from me. Not this coming weekend, but the next weekend is the Denton Military Vehicle and Gun Show at the Denton Farm Park in Denton, North Carolina. And I think the first one I went to was 2016, probably. I've been to everyone since then. And this could be the first one that I don't have a Humvee to take. So if the Battlewagon 3 has a deposit or has been sold, obviously I'm not going to be able to take it to the show. And the Battlewagon 4, I don't think that it's going to be running yet by then. So I may just go and take a car full of Humvee parts and do some trading and buying and selling. But you can see things that I've done that are visible since the last time we talked. I put the mirrors on both sides, brand new mirrors, a brand new 2-man hardtop, new old stock doors. They're a little beat up, had some mildew on them, but I don't think they'd ever been mounted on a truck before. And then I wonder if I have a picture of the back wall. Yeah, let me see if I can make that a little bigger. Here you can see that's right before I pressure washed the Battlewagon 3. You can see right here that's a tinted window. It's a little bigger than standard, so that's a big upgrade in this back window. And then zippers on the side, so you can zip the middle section up if you have something big and you need more cargo space. So that's a neat upgrade that a guy in Florida does. And before I bought this truck, Patrick sent that back wall to the guy, William Welch, down in Florida. and he made those modifications to it and sent it back. So I just cut it out of the box yesterday and mounted it for the very first time. So things are looking pretty good here as far as the Battlewagon 3 is ready to go as soon as the guy gets the money together to purchase it. Buddha, you can see Buddha out there guarding it. He is what, 12 and a half years old now, and his hips are starting to give him problems, but he still gets a little protective. And you know, the Battlewagon 3 is coming along. I'm knocking out projects every day. Well, except today. I didn't do anything on it today. All I did was get the Battlewagon 3 ready to go. You can see where I was pressure washing yesterday there in that one. And I also shot a video, it'll be up on the Humvee channel pretty soon, showing a military intercom system that is well, it was installed in the Battlewagon 3. I actually uninstalled it yesterday. There you go. That's what it looks like. So the base control unit down there, and then the driver's side has that control box. The passenger side has the other. That's in a two-person configuration with a headset assigned to each of those boxes. The control box will actually support two more boxes for each of the backseat passengers. I just never hooked those up. I use an aviation intercom that in a two-person, I have a two-person, I have a four-person, and then I have a two-person with a separate additional two to make it a four-person. Depending on what kind of truck I'm in, I can use whichever aviation intercom works. And those are, I actually had one of them already from back when I was flying search and rescue in small planes. You know, sometimes you didn't know how the plane was going to be configured, so you had your own little portable intercom that you could plug in so that you could talk to the crew in the plane. So anyhow, that's what I like to use, but I put that old VIC-1 military system in just so I could shoot a video and tell people about it. Here is another big upgrade that happened. Today's Thursday, so it would have been earlier in the week. These are Mastercraft. So normally they'd be racing seats, Mastercraft safety racing seats, but this version is made for military vehicles under the Mastercraft defense name, and they call it an energy attenuating seat. So the idea is that the seating area has a metal frame, a mild steel tubular frame, but then the seating area has some stretchiness built into it so that if something happens, like an explosion under the vehicle or something like that, the seat is going to absorb a little bit of that impact and or the energy rather, instead of passing it all on to the person sitting in it. You can see here that we've got a 4-point harness, 2 shoulder straps, 2 hip belts. I actually have the driver's seat hooked up for the 2 hip belts, and I think I had a picture somewhere. There it is. That is what I need to get some more of. That's actually the anchor that's going to hold the 2 shoulder belts down, and I had it out to take a picture so that I can get some more, and I couldn't find them locally. I ended up ordering some from a racing shop off of Amazon today. So hopefully those will be here in the not too distant future. And I have not updated the Battlewagon for kind of project process article yet. So let me bring that over here to share with everyone. Let's see here. In that article, we and we've seen it here before. We show it how it arrived. Look at nasty and full of parts, and some of the prior Humvee projects, and then we dig into this specific project, some of the ideas we have for moving forward, how it arrived. You know, more detailed pictures. The video, all these things. And as time goes, I keep adding to the end of it. and I've got a whole bunch of pictures and videos that I need to add to it. I think the last update I made was April 2nd. So that was almost 2 weeks ago. No, it was more than 2 weeks ago. So I have lots of updates to put in here where I've taken pictures and video. If you care to go check out some of the other work that we're doing, I've also posted a few guitar videos. I think I told you about the, oh, you know, I almost forgot. I'm supposed to do Guitarmageddon before we dive into this. I think I told you about these last week off of the Guitar Gear Report channel on Rumble. We've got the new Squier debut series Stratocaster, really cool $120 guitar off of Amazon. They've done a good job on that. And then a couple days ago, I think 2 days ago, from Gear-It, the GTL 200 thin line telly arrived, and I was actually playing that a little bit today, trying to get to know it a little bit. We got one video up. I'm going to put a more detailed video up on that here shortly, but I was actually coming in here to show you some of the other things we've done. So you'll see a number of Humvee videos in here and guitar videos. I have got a variety of more videos. You can see the ones with the little film things on the side. And look at that. We're done. All right, I already took Guitarmageddon off. Good. We may do some more Guitarmageddon. I don't know. I actually got a couple of bass guitars in a trade recently. I can't remember if it was last week or this week. I think it was earlier this week, but I may show you one of those if we still have time and we need something to talk about. Oh, and the Ghostess with the Mostest has also joined us. Welcome, Ghost Tactical. Happy to see you out there. So, I mean, again, Ghost Tactical, everyone knows Ghost. Spent time in the Department of the Navy's Marine Corps, and this truck that we're looking at came from the Marine Corps. I test fit these special doors. Amtech is a company that makes a couple different things. I've never seen this specific type of door before. I've seen the other type they make is much more common. This one actually has a screen and a window. There's the screen and there's the window. It's really a neat door, a very robust latch system. I just have to get the strikers for that you mount to the frame so it'll stay shut, and I'll be able to mount that long term. I just hung it on there to see what it would look like because I'd never seen that type of door on a Ghost says we were the Department of the Navy's men's department. That makes sense. All right, I suppose, yeah. So anyhow, I got that door, that hard fiberglass or Kevlar, whatever it is, door mounted, and I don't know if that one's fiberglass or Kevlar. And I'll have a video to put up on that. I've been posting some shorts on YouTube and on Rumble, so you find them in both places on the Humvee Gear Report channel. And you can see that video I'm talking about, the top and the door and some various things. Showing the new Mastercraft seats that got put in and how the restraints are going to be done. Here you see some modifications being made to the seat base for they call it the commander seat. It's the front right-hand seat, not the driver's seat, the other front seat. And that's a fiberglass base that goes under the seat. It's upside down, and it actually has two really big batteries under it. Look at that. Ghost says that looks good. Well, thank you. I think the project is coming along okay. And what's happening here? Trying to figure out what I'm doing in this video. Oh, test fitting one of the seats to see how it fit in there. Yeah, not too bad. Sits a little higher than I'm used to, but otherwise, there are lots of these videos that I either have posted and you can go watch them on one of our Humvee channels, or they will be posted soon. I've been shooting way more video than I've had time to post because I've been spending a lot of time working on the Humvee. And one thing that you notice if you go watch those videos is the air conditioning system that is large and takes up a lot of space. I just took it out. Like I want this is going to be a soft top. I want to be able to run around without a top on it at all quite a bit. So so I just pulled the air conditioning system out. There's no good place to put it in a two-man truck. It takes up all the space between the seats. So, and some additional space. So I just yanked that out. I've got a new air conditioner that I'll put in it at some point if I feel like I need it, but chances are I won't. So that's the progress of the Battlewagon 4. Lots of little things I've been working on, trying to knock them out one after another. And, making some real progress. I got the windshield wiper working. I've got to put a new pump on the windshield wiper fluid tank. You see the little black thing there with the rust on it. That's a bad pump. I'm going to have to replace that and various other things. So that's what's been really keeping me busy. And like I said, we've got both trucks starting to look pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see how those progress. We'll take that off the screen for now. Ghost ask, is that an M998? So an M998 is the first version of a Humvee, and it is the standard kind of troop carrier, just utility truck with kind of lighter weight suspension, if that makes sense. And then in the Army, they came out with a 1097, which they beefed up the suspension on so it could tow and haul and carry heavier things. And then the Marine Corps took that 1097 and they changed it from a 3-speed to a 4-speed that'll go highway speeds, okay, and kept the heavy duty suspension. And they call that the M1123. That's what this is. So they call it an A2 truck. It's a 3rd generation Humvee. It's got a bunch of upgrades. I think the brakes are bigger, and instead of a 6.2, it's a 6.5 liter engine. This one is a naturally aspirated engine, not a turbo. I actually have, it's 1123. I have a turbo engine I can put in it. I don't think I want to do that. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I was talking to one of my Humvee friends today, and I said, the way it is today, you can go buy a turbo truck pretty easy. When I got into this in 2016, they weren't auctioning the turbo trucks yet. So if you wanted a turbo truck, you'd have to go buy an engine and figure out how to shoehorn it in, because some modifications have to happen to be able to do that. So now, like the other truck, the tan one, that's a turbo truck. So if I want another turbo truck, I'll just go buy another turbo truck. I'm not going to put the turbo engine in here. I'm going to sell that, get some of my money back on selling that. So that is the status of the Battlewagon 4 project. It is moving along, but I do not think it's going to be ready for the Denton Military Vehicle Show. Not this weekend, but the following weekend in Denton, North Carolina. So that'd be 7 or 8 days from now. I would need to be driving, and it's not going to be ready. So unfortunately, I may be driving the Prius to that show. Oh, that's neat. I just got a Facebook message that very well could be a link to porn. Yeah. I don't know why I get those. I never click the links, but people like to send me porn links for some reason. I don't understand. Especially on Instagram. That's just crazy. I just keep getting tagged in these messages, and I'm like, more porn? Come on. But they like to send me that stuff apparently. So I was hoping that if we stalled a little bit, Kevin would get his technical issues sorted out and be able to come back and talk about his upcoming or his review. So I'm stalling a bit while I go find it. I think I lost it. All right. I'm going to have to put this back on the screen, and we will make the browser bigger, and then we're going to cheat. Okay, so we're just going to go all the way back to the main Gear Report homepage, and then we'll click on Kevin's gun pegboard review and bring that up and have a look at it. So this is something that if you've watched any time lately, I'm sure you've noticed Kevin has been showing off his studio that he built. And I can't blame him because he literally built this just so he can do um, podcast webcasts like this. And he built these walls. So it was an open area. I think it's a basement or side of the garage. I'm not even sure what it is, but he put carpet all the way around so that you can put patches on it, and then hung pegboards on it to hang the guns on. And I think it's these three against the back wall. Maybe all of them are from Gun Pegboard. Is it gunpegboard.com or pegboards? Gun Pegboard product. So it's not, it's singular, it's not plural. And oh, it looks like Ghost is here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Ghost into the program. Welcome. Good to see you.
Good seeing you. I thought I saw you were solo. I figured you might want some company.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have you seen pegboards like this for guns before?
I've got 2 panels.
Yeah. Yeah, they make some really interesting stuff, and I feel bad that I talked to them probably 4 or 5 years ago at SHOT, and they wanted to do a project. I just never got back to them. I got busy and forgot about it, and then Kevin started doing it. I was like, oh, I remember them. They're usually down in the dungeon.
Yeah.
I remember where their display used to be. I don't know if they still do it in the same place, but
I've had these for a few years now. I don't remember, and I haven't really. I don't know. I don't know where they are. They were down the dungeon, but they might be over at Caesar's by now. Who knows?
oh, that's a good point. Yeah. But they look different than a normal pegboard. So I don't have a picture readily available. I have a pegboard in my gun room, and I have one beside my 3D printer as well. I got a 3-pack off of Amazon, off of their Vine program, and I put one beside the 3D printer. I'm stalling while I pull up some pictures on the other screen. So let's open that. And you can see I've got some magazines mounted up here at the top, and then some tools for the 3D printer down below. But what I wanted to show here is it just has holes. All right. And I think it's a 1-inch grid. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure
I think so. Yeah.
it's something like that. So now look at what Kevin posted. It's got that same grid of holes, but then it has those little vertical bits as well. And that is like, in a nutshell, that's what differentiates the pegboard portion from a typical pegboard, is those little vertical pieces. Kevin really likes it. He went with 4.5 out of 5 gears, which is a very, very high. That's the highest rating we've ever given. And usually when someone submits something that says 4.5, I will call them and say, seriously?
Red flag. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you feel bad? Like they sent you this product and now you have to give him a great number? But he has been talking about it. I didn't even call him. I didn't ask him. I just published it the way he submitted it, because he has been talking about this for a month or two.
Yeah.
Like Kevin has done video calls with me. Dude, you got to see this. Just out of the blue, I get a video call and he's like, look at this. I put the pegboards up. So he really, I don't think he inflated this. I think he really loves this product, like genuinely, legitimately loves this product. And you can see the list of the different things that he used. And they have the U hooks. They have other types of hooks. And again, it's not a normal pegboard because it's got those extra little slots in it.
Yep. The cool thing is gun pegboard offers all sorts of different hooks and attachments for it. But being that it's a standard size pegboard, basically, as far as the spacing, You can go and get one of those 100-piece sets off Amazon for $15 that has all sorts of different mounting options, and they work great.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I should have done. But so the kit that I got came with a couple little bits of hangers. I put the link for this review down in the discussion if anyone's listening and wants to go follow along and check it out, and also watch the videos. So Kevin has kind of done what I've started doing, and it's not just posting the YouTube video, but also a link to another channel like another platform like Rumble or Odyssey or whatever, just because, we're never going to free ourselves from YouTube and their heavy heel if we don't start, promoting content on other platforms. So Kevin lists his pros and cons here. You can go read them if you like, and look at all the pictures. He's got so many of them that you see a bunch of different mounting options. He says that sometimes their slotted brackets are a little hard to put in different places and take out. But anyhow, go check out that review if that looks interesting to you, and definitely watch Kevin's video to get a more in-depth look at them. And so what I was saying is like those have some special fittings that you can use that go in those little vertical slots. But like you said, you can also use standard pegboard hooks and fixtures and whatever. I went a little different direction with mine, this because it's a standard pegboard, and I started printing things on the 3D printer.
Even better.
Yeah, that seemed more fun to me. And some of the things, it's like I hung all the guns, and I'm scrolling through my pictures on the other screen to figure out where I put those pictures. And I don't know where they went. Maybe I've got a video that I can find so I can share that. I'm going to keep looking while I'm talking, but the standard, hooks that you can buy, they work just fine. And as long as you're careful, it's not going to scratch things up or not going to scratch them up much. But I still printed the plastic ones. Just because, the idea that it's going to be a little kinder to the finish on the firearms and the other things that I put up there. So, but mainly,
I got some of the metal hooks and all of that stuff, but they all came with those little rubber caps.
Oh yeah,
and so that helps to maybe utilize them for not messing up the finishes or whatever. But yeah. I think they're fun. I used to have some slat wall, and I like slat wall. Don't get me wrong. But the way that you could maybe how do you put this? Manipulate the pegboard or the slat wall to display in a certain way. We're limited with the pegboard.
yeah.
You really have you can organize it however you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know Kevin has been super excited and would have had this done sooner if he had just mounted them on a normal wall. But you can see in his pictures, like where he came from, he put a single wall up because you see that wall ends. And he liked the look of it and was like, you know what? I'm going to actually make a studio. And then that's where, as you scroll down, I showed you the other picture a minute ago. Where was it? The wraparound picture. Maybe it's up at the top. Yeah, that was the original wall back there, and he coated it and then did two more to wrap it all the way around. He put lights up on the ceiling and down below, if I'm not mistaken, and then did the carpet on the wall on the side to make his patch wall, and made his little Gear-Report plaque there in the middle, which I really appreciate him doing. And he really did it up. And the real inspiration here was the gun pegboards. He really hadn't been that motivated. He'd been using the old studio setup without all those walls, and it didn't look great. He'd been doing that for a long time. And once he put those up and shuffled them around a little bit and was like, oh my God, I can do so much with these, that inspired him to really finish out a more professional looking studio. I think it really came out well. And when he's broadcasting, you don't see that couch. It's behind him. And normally filled with dogs is what I have come to understand. So that is makes me wonder if Wall Control is their standard brand, and then they've kind of rebranded Gun Pegboard. And it makes me wonder how many other markets that they play in where maybe they have branded something specific to the other market. I don't know if they have or haven't, but it makes me wonder.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, it doesn't take much for me. So
I hear you.
yeah. So thanks for being here, Ghost. Happy to see
Yeah,
you.
man. Absolutely.
So how's that Les Paul been treating you?
Good, man. I haven't played in probably about a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's starting to get crazy and work and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back over and start playing again. But no, I love that thing. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I know the feeling. I'd gone a couple days I hadn't played, and today it got too hot, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to go out and work on the trucks in the blazing sun. I've already got a little bit of I'm not quite full sunburn up here.
Nice.
But you can see where my visor comes right across because I want to keep it out of my eyes, and I was getting a little toasty up top, so I came inside.
Yeah.
I grabbed. I actually had a couple of Les Pauls and a couple other guitars out today for a little while. I was the only one in the house for a little while. That happens so rarely that
you got to take advantage of it, man.
Yeah, the big amp got turned on today, and I apologize to the neighbors for that. But yeah, I had a couple of those out, and I threatened people earlier in the program that if we had a few minutes, I would revisit Guitarmageddon, because I've got a couple, and I didn't stage them this time because I didn't think I'd have time to get into them. I'm pulling one of them off the wall right now. In a trade, I traded an Epiphone Les Paul Custom that I had gotten in another trade and absolutely loved, but it was a white Les Paul Custom. And you saw the Chibson I just picked up as a white Les Paul Custom. Like, I don't need two of those. So I traded the Epiphone for this, a Jaguar bass.
Nice.
Mint. It's pretty much brand new. All right, which way? There we go.
Do you play bass?
Of course.
Yeah. You dabble a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, I am a semi-professional. You know, actually, I have been playing bass for about 3 days now.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Which, you know, I dabbled at it once before. So I have 3 basses. I have a little short scale Bronco bass that I got in another trade. I traded away some stuff I wasn't using and got that. I played with it a little bit, but this is way nicer. I may actually keep this one. And then I've got another one. Let me grab that.
I almost picked up a Hofner, a month and a half ago, probably.
Yeah.
And just because I've always loved the old Hofner, you know, the Paul McCartney bass. I just think that's pretty. Is that flat?
It's a
I like that.
And it's got 2 humbuckers. So the other one was a P bass. Let me see. Is that what it is? A P bass up top, and then what's the other kind of Fender bass? They have 2 main ones. Precision bass, and then whatever the other one is. It's got the mixture of one pickup from one type, the other pickup from the other.
Nice.
And you can blend them together, and it looks beautiful and it plays nice. This one actually plays really nice too, and it's got 2 humbuckers. So
it came with the hums on there?
Yeah. And
nice.
Both of them look pretty much brand new. and it looks like whoever got these, like the guy I got it from, got them in a trade, and he didn't want them, so he's like, "Hey, trade me for a 6-string," and I said, make it worth my while, and all said and done, I came out really ahead on the deal because he's like, "I don't care. I'm never going to use these." And I said, "Yeah, I probably won't either, but
And you did
I'll,
what, an
I'll play."
Epiphone Les Paul?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was old and it was beat up a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, kind of like guns. The very best ones, the ones that people absolutely love shooting, similar, with guitars, the ones that people love playing, they get beat up. They get the scratches and dings and dents
Yep.
on it. And that Les Paul Custom had a bunch of scratches and dings and dents,
Yep.
but it played.
Well, they're supposed to,
Yeah, it really played nice. And he was like, well, he just didn't want it. He had a couple of bases already, I guess, and wanted to trade for the 6-string. And then what did I trade him? A set of humbuckers, which was actually, I believe, it's the set that came in this one originally. These
Okay.
are a set of pickups from England from a company called, oh, I'm blanking on what the company's name is, but they're kind of like a really small custom pickup maker. And I ordered a set to put in there. I didn't really need it, but I wanted to try the pickups. Iron Gear is the name of the company. So
Okay.
look at that. So we saw Chris from the 740 is here. Welcome, Chris. And then DJ Play Nice must have heard that we were talking guitar, so he showed up. So we appreciate that as well. But anyhow,
What kind were they? Did you say the
they
British
were
one? They
Iron
weren't
Gear.
both. Oh, okay, okay. The only ones that I've ever used that were British were like the Bulldogs.
Uh-huh. I got to figure out where to put this where it won't fall over, because hanging it back up on the wall is going to be a hassle. There we go. Set that there. And the Iron Gear, if anyone wants to look those up, the Iron Gear, one of them is called Rolling Mill, and the other one is Hot Slag.
How do you like them compared to the Hums?
I will. They are humbuckers, but they are. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Oh, they've got it on here. Hot Slag is a high output
Okay.
4-conductor humbucker. The Rolling Mill, also 4-conductor, and it's a medium output. So 4-conductor means that if you want to wire it to do coil splitting, then you
Yeah.
can split it and make it sound like a single coil, like
Yeah.
a Stratocaster or something. I just wired them as regular humbuckers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I love that guitar. It may be a copy of a Gibson, but it really, really plays nice.
Well,
And
that's the thing is, I mean, let's just be honest. Gibson. I'm a Les Paul guy. You know that. But Gibson forever. I mean, they were the standard for a long time. Technology has gotten so good these days, and I'm not saying like replicas and all that, but just technology in general. You can go find a less, I'm not going to say a cheap, but a much lesser expensive guitar that still plays great these days, where that wasn't the case 25, 30 years ago. If you wanted a nice sounding guitar, you actually had to pay for it. Today, you can go pick up a few $100s, a really solid, hell, probably less than that, a couple $100, a really solid sounding guitar that you don't really have. You might have to solder some stuff here or there, but you really don't have to upgrade components to make it sound great. And that's the great thing about technology these days is you can really get into, if people want to play guitar, you don't have to go spend $1,000 or more anymore. You can go spend a couple hundred and get a pretty solid guitar.
yeah, these pickups, the neck, the rolling mill in the neck is 8.5, and then the Hot Slag is 17K. And 17K is a really hot pickup, and they're both Alnico 5s, so they rip.
Nice.
They rip.
Well, especially if you put the big amp up there, it's going to sound really great, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had the it's an Ampeg Reverb Rocket 212. So it's two 12-inch
Two
speakers,
12s, yeah, that's awesome.
and it's a full tube amp. I don't remember the watts on it. It's 50 or 100 watts. I don't remember.
Well, you probably don't want to play that when you're
Uh,
not alone in the house. That might upset the rest of the household.
and I can't remotely turn it up all the way in the house or I'll be deaf. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that thing screams. And typically I have a 15-inch powered PA speaker that I run multi effects pedals straight into that.
I was going to ask you
So I
what kind
make
of
it so
pedals are
much
you
better.
running? Are you or are you running pedals? Yeah.
I typically don't. I need to. I actually in my review pile, I have a couple pedals, but I also have a full size travel pedal board that I actually. Is this the one? I'm going to open it up and look at it here.
How many can you program into that? You know?
You're not on the screen, so I'm going to take the screen. Make
Yeah,
sure
go ahead.
we can still hear you, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Just
hope.
because if you're not on the screen, I figured I'd go ahead and
Yeah, no.
do that. Oh yeah, I hadn't even opened this one yet. It's all bubble wrap.
Oh
It's
wow.
got all of the Velcro that you need to hook the pedals to it. But I believe, yeah, this is not the one that has the power supply built in, but it has a rack underneath it to put a powered supply. And I've got a
Nice.
couple power supplies already. Um,
How many can you program into that? Do you know yet?
this is just a this is just a pedal board that
That's
you can
just the
put
board
them on,
itself.
and it's big.
Yeah.
It's probably almost 2 feet, maybe a full 2 feet wide and 18 inches deep.
Oh wow.
It's going to hold a lot of pedals, which is funny because I don't really like pedals. I don't use pedals a lot. I
I
have
don't
a
either.
few that companies have sent me that I need to look at. The ones that I find most useful, I'll show you this one just because anyone who plays with different configurations, like DJ's asking about how many pedals in the chain. Well, I mean, I'm using a multi effects. I've got a head rush system that I can stack whatever I want in it virtually.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. What
so
software are you using?
what's that?
What software do you use for that?
I'm just using what's on it.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
So the head rush multi effects unit has its own stuff built in, and I'm pretty much just using what came with it. But then I have the reverb rocket that is let's see, is the reverb rocket the reverb rocket is the whatever the 90s version. It's not a 60s version, but it's still the kind of the blue Tolex with the pattern on it. And I wonder.
Is that kind of like a
I can't
sea
get the
foam? I
camera
can't
on
tell
it.
what it's called with the lighting. Is that kind of sea foam or what is that?
That guitar back there,
Yeah.
it's kind of seafoamish. That's
Okay.
a
I couldn't
Grote.
tell if that was the lighting or not.
Yeah, that is a Grote GRS. That's $170 guitar on Amazon, and it's amazing. I
Nice.
seriously, it's got the two singles and a humbucker, and you can split the humbucker so it sounds like a single coil or like a humbucker. It's got stainless steel frets and a maple neck and a tremolo arm, and it played great out of the box. And it's $170. It's
Wow.
absolutely insane. But what I was going to show you here is this pedal, the Orthos Selector from Joyo. It's a brand new one they just came out with that will let you have different pedal boards. Like you can have, I think it's, you can do 2 or 3 different combinations. And if you, so if you're doing something like me, I have another one that's like this down there that where I can send the signal to 3 or 4 different places. So I
Yeah.
have 2 analog amps. They're both there's a complete tube amp, the Reverb Rocket, and then a little custom. It's called the 12. What is it? 12A, something like that. Going into a big Black Star 212 cabinet.
Yeah.
I can with just a little foot switch, I can switch where my output goes or where the
Nice.
input goes. So does it go to the multi-effects, does it go to the reverb rocket or does it go to the other one? And that's what this does. And you can also combine them though. So you can send the signal both places, and it's really, really neat. So I have a box full of pedals up there that I mean, I probably have Brant send me 150 pedals, and I'm not a pedal guy. I do the basic review on them and post them, and then I sell them, and someone gets a deal. Let's see, DJ's analog only. I used to be. I had a wall, but you go back and look at some of my videos on the main Gear Report channel where I was reviewing amps and guitars, and I had a wall of 412s and big, 100-watt amps, and amps, and then I got down to just the multi effects, and then I found the reverb rocket and was like, man, I don't like how it sounds clean, but it rips, so I keep it for that. Yeah. Let's see here.
Nice.
Does Ghost play an instrument?
I played the drums most of my life. Started playing guitar a long time ago, then quit for about 20 years, and getting back into the guitar and all that. But yeah, no, I've always been a big guitar guy. I don't know. I didn't pick it up for 20 years, and I'm not gonna lie, man, your Guitarmageddon kind of got me back into it. Clover got me back into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Happy to be there for you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah. DJ asked the Black Star, and it's a shame. Like, I really don't want to go moving the camera too much because it can be hard to get it adjusted back right here. There's the Black Star 212, and the little custom is over by the red light. And I wonder if I can move enough that we can see. No, you can almost see it right down here. The blue light is right behind the reverb rocket, and my camera lens is actually hitting on the top of my monitor. There, let me move a little. It's too dark. You can't, because all the studio lights and where they're aimed, you can't see it. But right there, like that little hump, is the handle on the top of the reverb rocket.
All I've got right now is a little 7 watts, like that little Boss Katana, little practice amp.
Yeah,
which is all I need right now.
There we go. Now you can see the reverb rocket down there.
Oh yeah, that looks good. I like the tobacco, the tobacco fender there.
That is that's actually one that just showed up. But anyhow, the reverb rocket
go ahead.
Is down there, and and I messed my focus up now. Let me get this back over here, and sorry about that. There we go. So the tobacco looking one, that dude, $65.
Really?
Shipped from Amazon. The company is Gear-It. It's a fairly new company. It's swamp ash, and it's heavy. It's 8.2 pounds, and it's semi-hollow.
That's pretty.
It's a P90 up here, a humbucker at the bottom, and you can split it. So it's a single.
You get the split knobs.
Three-way switch here.
Do those knobs come standard on it, or did you switch them to the?
I've done nothing.
Really?
I haven't even taken the plastic off the pickups. Like that's
awesome. That's awesome.
I took it out, I tuned it, and played it. And the only issue I have with it, right along this edge, let me see, smooth, right as you get above that fret down to here, that section, there's a little bit of roughness on this edge right here.
Well, I mean, you're talking about frets at that price range. You can't expect them to be, awesome.
Yeah, well, it's the wood, and
how's the strings? What kind of strings are on it? Decent strings?
I mean, they're okay. They're crappy stock strings, but yeah. So let's see. DJ's got cabs. Boy, tell me about it. I'm trying to move stuff in the garage so that I can get Mrs. Gear-Report's car back in there. The big thing blocking right now is I have a 412 Marshall cab sitting there that Like, I don't know what to do with it. I think I'm gonna have to move it in the house just so she can get her car in the garage.
Do you ever use that?
Not that one. I used to. It used to be here in the studio, and I liked it because it made a nice backdrop when I was doing like studio pictures of the guitars I was reviewing. The Marshall cab with a Marshall amp on top, looked really cool. Yeah, learning and relearning
Yeah, it
sucks.
sucks. It
It's
sucks.
also fun.
My frustration is I'm very how do I put this? I don't know. I feel that I'm very slow, and that's frustrating to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh no, I completely get it because I feel the same way. I take forever, but then when I get something, it feels really good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Huh? He's got two 412s on the floor he's on. Yeah, I think I had three 412s and then two 212s. That's the most that I had in the studio office here. And
You could have
now
a concert with that.
I could, yeah. And now I have the powered PA with the multi effects, and then the reverb rocket, and then that little custom, and the custom and the custom I bought. It was the first tube amp that I bought, and it's a hybrid, so it's got the preamp is a tube, and then the power amp is solid state, and I just really like the way it breaks up really nicely when you put a hot signal coming into it.
Is that Les Paul behind you? Is that a cherry or tobacco burst over your right shoulder?
Yeah, let me grab it.
It looks cherry, but I couldn't tell.
That hanger bracket almost fell off the wall. Let's see here. This was a special order. Chipson. It says Gibson. It was ordered from China. And one of the giveaways is the snot green on these tuning pegs. I have a set of the real Gibson Deluxe tuners sitting on a shelf over here.
Are those the fake ivories, I guess?
Yeah. And
is that cherry? It looks cherry to me.
Well, that's what I wanted you to see. It's definitely got some cherry look to it.
It's got the tobacco on the outside almost.
It's a little darker on the outside. It's kind of like a blood burst out here, an ox blood burst out here, but then cherry down there. It's beautiful. And this was a copy of a Murphy Lab Gibson R9, the 59 Les Paul model.
Yeah.
And
the greatest model ever.
I pre-ordered this, and it took like 3 months for them to build it and ship it. It even has a Gibson custom shop medallion up here.
Yeah.
And it actually plays and sounds pretty good. The neck is slightly chunkier than I like.
Yeah.
But I really do like it. This one, same company, also a Chipson.
Really?
Absolutely beautiful, plays amazing. And I didn't need to change the pickups. I did it because I wanted to try the iron gears. And the neck profile is absolutely exactly what I like.
Now, have you had to solder anything, or are they still out of the box play okay?
I haven't had any issues like where it had a bad solder and I had to resolder it. Obviously, when I put the new pickups in, I had to solder those. But
yeah,
I got a new digital soldering iron that you set the temperature and hit go, and in a minute it's at that temperature, and it's amazing. Made things a whole lot easier. But this one, I really like it, and they just announced today they have a new batch ready. I had to wait 3.5 months to receive it. It was a pre-order, pay up front and then wait. That went so well, they immediately made another batch that just got finished today. If you have $376, you can send it to them and it'll be at your house in a week and a half.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And they have this in a lemon burst color one, like a copy. And then let's see here.
I like a lemon burst. Is that a golden?
It looks a lot like this. This has got just a little bit of dark on the edges.
That's the slash guitar, if you will.
This is the greenie, they call it.
Yeah.
The
Which actually,
more Peter Green.
ironically, the greenie started out as a cherry.
Yeah, and it faded.
And it faded into that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And this is another Chipson. It says Gibson on the top again. And this one has a thinner neck.
Yeah.
If the burst one back there, if the 59 burst had this neck, then I'd like sell all my other Les Paul. Well, except for the custom. I keep the white one, I'd keep that one. I'd sell everything else. But now this one, it looks good, it plays good.
What kind of pickups are in that?
This is they were decent pickups in this.
Okay.
But I put a set of from Guitar Madness on eBay, and they're, what do they call them? The 59ers, I think, because this is also a 59 Les Paul.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
but
mine's a 52 copy.
Oh wow, this is what a greenie is supposed to look like. It's not perfect, but it is. The color's right. Everything about it's pretty much right.
Well, I like how the detail, because you kind of get the waves / stripes in the paint, which you're supposed to get as well. It's not a solid color.
Right. So that's the wood grain that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Now this one was also, like, I was going to do a comparison series.
It's a little too dark.
Because Epiphone was coming out with a greenie for $1,500. Yeah. And I said, well, that's stupid. I can do better than that. I think I had almost 200 in this one shipped. And this was a friggin' steal. I love this. It plays great. It sounded good before. With the Guitar Madness, it sounds even better.
Yeah.
This one, I had about 200 in this one as well. These were supposed to be pretty much identical. And then this one showed up and the color's just wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's too dark.
It was supposed to ship right away. It took a while to ship. Like, it was literally, no, I have it in stock. When I get into the office, I'll send it. And then it was 2 weeks before it shipped, and it was supposed to ship by air. It actually shipped by ship, which meant it's been a month on the boat crossing the Pacific.
Fantastic.
And then it went by land from California to North Carolina. So these other ones, I think this one took 6 days to get to me. This took like 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be there in 7 days. And the finish is all wonky, but this is a nitro finish. A couple of them are nitro, a couple of them are poly.
Yeah.
This one, you can't really.
It's not bad if you weren't holding it up next to the other one. You know what I'm saying?
If you like relic Les Pauls, it's got the little. I think they took a razor blade and made the cracks to make it look like it's finish checked. And then, can we get it where you can almost see them up here on the headstock, the little finish cracks?
Yeah.
So, all right, let me catch up here with comments. Let's see. Let me go back up. G says, Thumb, thank you for that. It is a good evening. Appreciate that. Cold solder joints. Yeah, I haven't had to do any of that yet. I actually had a Gibson Les Paul, like a real Gibson I'd bought a few years ago, that I got a deal on it because one of the pickups was sporadic. It'd work and then it wouldn't work. And as it turned out, all it was the three-way switch had a little contactor where the post came in between, and one of the things was out so that it wasn't touching. So I just bent it back in. So now it touches solid, and it worked perfect after that. I have not had any guitars that I can think of that I had to maybe one or two that I had to resolder something, but yeah, pretty easy.
I'd love to get one of my favorite. I just love the color. Have you seen the blueberry burst?
Yes, yeah.
It's a pretty color. It really is.
Yep. Yeah. So G-Webs, yes, they have. So here's the deal. just like with guns, where people will go get a gun Cerakoted with battle worn.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I absolutely can't
Yeah.
stand.
Just use your gun, then he'll get it.
Right. So DJ says relicking. That's what they
Yeah.
call it.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Relicking. And so the wear is in the place where the wear would be anyway. So this one and this one are relicked, right? And it's because they're copies of a specific actual historic guitar. So
Yeah.
if you go look for a picture of the Peter Green,
Peter Green.
Peter Green, Gary Moore guitar that they call the Greenie. The idea with these is they're supposed to be made to
You know
replicate.
who else owned that guitar for a very short time, which I wish they would add to the provenance of it?
And then who's that?
Dwayne Allman had it for a very short time.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on those and on, all right, here's pop quiz for our non-guitar people. G Webs, whose guitar is this? That is also relict. It has wear marks on it. I think this was literally drug across the ground in a couple
Well,
spots.
you know what? Eddie probably drug it across the ground too. Let's be honest.
Right. So this is the guitar that got my other channel.
Well, that guitar right there for people our age is one of the most iconic guitars ever.
Yes. Yep. So that one, the two greenies. Trying to think.
You got a black Strat back there too, huh?
And I'll talk about that in a second. Those are the only ones I have that are relict.
Yeah, they did a relic. I think maybe Epiphone did it. They did a relic of the Joe Perry Les Paul, the '59 Joe Perry that Slash had for a while, and they reliced it. And apparently, they got a lot of crap for doing that, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the whole idea is they took the specs and pictures of the actual guitar and then try, like some of the really good copies, they'll come in here, and on the real one there are some little swirl marks where, like with fingernails when they're turning the volume up and down, it wore a little arced thing, and they'll put that there. There's a little crack right here that they put in it. The headstock, I actually saw a copy yesterday that the real Greenie had this portion of the headstock broken off and glued back on. So they did that on the copy. And the idea is they want it to be as close to indistinguishable to the original as possible in its current condition. And to me, that's the only way that I will do a relic. There are people who, like, they'll take a brand new guitar and get out sandpaper and chisels and hammers, and they'll beat on it, similar to what people do with guns sometimes to make them look like they've been used. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want to spend my time doing that.
One of the coolest stories about a guitar that I ever heard was from Slash, and how he got the Joe Perry 59 is during that mid 80s time frame when Aerosmith was not doing well. Joe Perry needed money, and his guitar tech knew Slash really well, and he said, "Hey, Joe wants to sell his 59. Is that something you'd be interested in?" He's like, "What?" You know, he bought that for $8,000 off Joe Perry. It's $1 million guitar now, but the funny thing is so that guitar is the guitar that he played on Use Your Illusion. So if you've seen the November Rain video, that's the Joe Perry 59. And after they recorded Use Your Illusion, Joe Perry had a birthday, and Slash gave it back to him. I thought that's the coolest thing ever.
It is. Let's see. G-Web's asking DJ Play Nice if he has a wall like that. I have two walls like this, actually. And I'm thinking about maybe, depending on what the show's about, setting up a gun wall in the background too, which we used to have.
Kirk Hammett does own it right now. Yes.
No, but Gibson and Epiphone are really pushing that as well. I mean, they're calling it the Kirk Hammett Greenie, which is kind of bizarre. Like Gary Moore just gets left out altogether. But last thing before, because we went over time, I wasn't planning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
DJ says I use racks for the ones in rotation. The rest are in cases or bags. I don't have anything in a case or bag. I did once. I had an Yngwie Malmsteen Fender USA that I had it listed for sale at a pretty high price. And I was afraid one of the kids, I've told the kids, come play whatever you want. Like, I don't care. These aren't, collector pieces. I have them to play. If you want to play something, come play it. And then I saw one of my guitars that got a big ding in it. And I was like, well, it was a $100 guitar. I really don't care. And the kids were playing it and they're learning. So that's fine. But then I was like, ooh, but I really don't want the $2,500 guitar to get a ding. So I put that in the case. That's the only one that's ever lived in a case. Everything else I have, 13 of them on racks down here, and 4 on the wall, and 10 on this wall, and I don't even know how many else leaning up on things. I want them within arm's reach so that whenever I have a free moment and I have a chance to play, I can just grab them. I don't want to have to deal with getting them out.
What's your go-to if you were just to turn around right now and say, I just want to jam with a great guitar? What's your go-to right now?
It's one of the it really varies, but it'll be one of the Les Pauls. This one is probably my number one right now. The custom, and what I've played the most in the last week is the black Strat that you mentioned.
My first guitar.
Yeah, I just put.
I'm a huge David Gilmour fan. That was why my first guitar was a black Strat.
That's why I got a black Strat. Actually,
nice.
That's what I was telling people when I first started playing and was shopping for guitars. They said, "Well, what do you play?" I was like, "Well, I'm just learning to play." Well, what do you want to play? I said, if I can play comfortably numb and the solos and everything, I'll be happy. And I can play most.
It's only the greatest solo ever, so that's a great one to strive for.
So, but this, it's a Squier. It's a brand new model that just literally came out on April 1st, and they sent me this to do a video.
Nice.
Actually, they sent me to do a written review on Amazon, and I also posted some videos on Amazon. I'm going to post another one here shortly.
That's pretty.
But short version.
And I'm not a Fender guy typically, but I love the black Strat.
Yeah. So my two absolute, if I had to go down to 2 guitars, it would be, this is a G&L. It's a S500.
Nice.
Tribute. It's their, what is this, Indo? Yes, and it's their Indonesian version, not the US version. I've got stands all over the place here.
Is that the Clapton tribute one?
No, this is, so G&L is after Leo Fender left. When he sold the Fender company, him and his friend George, I can't remember his last name, formed George and Leo G&L Guitars.
Yeah. Okay.
And this S500 is like the evolution of the Stratocaster. And I made TJ go with me to get this. I was down at his house a couple years ago, and I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. I met a guy in the AMP parking lot and gave him $250 for this. And it's these two. It depends on when you ask me which one is my favorite. This week it's the Les Paul.
Yeah.
But like if someone said you could only have one, it'd be this. It just plays better than anything I have. I think that the Les Paul, I'm a big Darkness fan, and Justin Hawkins plays the white Les Paul.
Sure.
So anyhow, I don't have cat suits like he does, but but the night is young.
that we know of.
You guys should do that. Yeah. Oh, G's got a good question here. Why have that many? No one needs that many guitars. That's true. Um, but
It's not about need.
well, it's about to be completely honest. I have too many, and
Yeah.
I say I have too many. Like I don't have places to put them all where I can get to them easily. Um, Actually, I don't think I have enough stand space. I've got hooks on the wall. I've got rack stands. I have individual stands. I have a long 10 guitar rack back there.
You need to go get you some gun peg board and just use it for guitars. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. There's a way
yeah.
to tie it all back in.
I have too many, and I have them because I reviewed them. Like this one, I wasn't going to buy this, but then I found it on Amazon Vine where they'll send me products to review. So I was like, well, heck yeah, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And so here's the deal: $120. Took it out of the box, tuned it, have made 0 adjustments, which never happens on a cheap guitar, and
Yeah.
it plays really nice. And
Awesome.
even the frets were polished. I mean, not even just level, but polished. Fender has clearly thrown down the gauntlet and said, we want to put an end to all these ultra cheap Chinese guitars coming in and stealing our market share. So we're going to give you a $300 guitar for $120.
Yeah.
And it plays nice. It sounds nice. This came in, I was fully expecting and prepared to absolutely hate it. And I actually really like it. So
Nice.
that is, I mean, that was just released to market on April 1st. So,
Wow.
it's only been here a week and I've played it more than anything else in the last week.
Nice.
Let's see. I did get that one because it was Ghost's first guitar, the black strap.
Yeah. That's why Gilmore had it. He knew that I was going to love that guitar.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only reasonable approach for
Was
him
it
to
was
take.
like a 67 or 69? I think it was a 69 Strat.
I think that I heard that it was actually a mixture of parts as well. Like the neck
Oh,
was
really?
something.
Okay.
I'm not positive, but I think I heard that.
I think the
Oh,
base of it was a 69. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong
could
about
be.
that. I don't know.
Let's see.
And that's
DJ.
when he played. The reason why I love it is my favorite album of all time is Dark Side of the Moon, and that's the guitar he played
Nice.
on Dark Side exclusively, and it's amazing.
George Fullerton. That's who it was. Yeah. And Dale Hyatt keeps getting forgotten in G&L guitars. Yeah. Phenomenal company. Doesn't get enough credit. Really, really good. Oh yeah, and the music and gear groups like I'm in a group called Budget Guitar Universe, and people even joke about it. Like there are people who buy 2-3 guitars a week.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 3 years now. Is that right? 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years. But I've in the spreadsheet that I keep, I've missed a few, and I'm at about 130 in the spreadsheet. And I think I have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 here in the studio. The rest of them I've sold, and I really need to list a batch of them to sell pretty soon. I've just been too busy.
So for me, my collector side is going to go down a road of my favorite guitars and guitar players' guitars. So I want to get another Black Strat eventually. I'd love to get like I know it sounds weird, but I want to get a Rickenbacker that John Lennon played. I mean, not because they're fantastic guitars. I just want to have. I would like to have a Hofner bass that McCartney played, and just have those there and say these are um, some of my favorite musicians, and these are the instruments they played, and it would be a cool display necessarily. Wouldn't you have a Rickenbacker? You son of a gun.
I don't. This one's
Oh,
on eBay.
okay.
No. I've thought about ordering a Chickenbacker, a Chinese
Sure.
Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
Not yet. I got to be careful. I don't want this channel to get
You
nuked.
can find. I've been looking on Reverb a lot, and you can find some pretty good deals. Some used stuff. They don't have to be new to me. I don't care as long as they play. I'm good.
Yeah. G-Web says, can you play professionally nightly with a $300
Oh
guitar?
yeah, you can.
I think you can, and I think that it's evidence that there are a
Maybe
number
not in
of
stadium tours, but
professional,
if you're just at a guy in a bar playing, yeah, you can play
but
professionally.
like Squires, for example, there are a number of people, and I don't know who they are, but I've seen, you know, plenty of articles and videos where people say, "Oh, here's a list of 10 big name people that you know their band and you probably know their name, and they play an off-brand guitar, you know, a $300 guitar or $200 guitar
Yeah.
on tour all the time, and they are playing stadium shows sometimes." So
Well,
um,
and my second favorite guitar player is Slash. I love Slash. I'm not saying he's a
yeah,
second best. He's my second favorite.
sure.
But Epiphone came out with an old Les Paul series of the Slash guitars that he uses,
Mhm. Yeah.
and yeah, it's like an $800 guitar. But Slash plays an Epiphone, not a Gibson. He plays his Epiphone Slash on stage all the time. And it's like, okay, if Slash is going to play $800 guitar, I think it's okay for people to play whatever they want to play, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. I was going to bring something else up
Man,
and show.
Guitar Mageddon took over, didn't it?
Well, it did. And I was supposed to keep this a short show at an hour tonight, but it didn't happen. Oh, yeah. So the black Strat was a 69, he says.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Marr
Johnny
signature.
Marr.
Oh,
Oh, so I'm glad that he knows who Johnny Marr is. People that may not know who Johnny Marr is. I'm a huge Smiths fan, so um, yeah, that'd be another one that I want to get as a Johnny Marr design. Um, man, that's man, yeah. I'm so
yeah.
glad people know who Johnny Marr is.
Huh. I am blanking. Like I've heard him. I've done some like tutorial play along things with some of the stuff he's done, but
Yeah. Well,
I
he and
I don't know
Morrissey
a
started the
ton about
Smiths. So
them.
if you know the Smiths
Yeah.
in the early to mid '80s, that's Johnny
Noir.
Marr. Yeah,
And DJ's completely 100% correct. The Epiphone price increases are
yeah, they're
redonkulous and
stupid.
ridiculous and absurd. And like someone's on some really good crack over there at Gibson and Epiphone. But I wanted to show you guys something here that I've been thinking about, and that
Oh
is I
snap!
like flying V's. I've got a white
I'm
flying
not a flying
V,
V guy, but that's pretty sweet.
and I like them to play standing. I can't play when seated. Doesn't
Yeah,
work right for me. But standing, I like it. Um, oh, Modest Mouse, yeah, that's a interesting group. But that's one I've been looking at, and I'd mentioned this is the one that I've got on that burst is
mm.
where I got it. Oh, they got an olive
Ooh,
drab one
I love
with
that
their
that olive
pre-order. This
drab.
is
That's
what I was
pretty.
saying. I wanted to see what the actual price was. 376.31 for the lemon burst or the one that I have back here. Shipped to your door. It'll be there in a week or so. So
That's pretty good.
that's all I'm going to talk about with those for now. Um, oh, the Pretenders, yeah. So anyhow, yeah, the guitar stuff's really interesting to me. Um, compared to some of the other content areas I work on. Unfortunately, uh, I have to work really hard at it because I didn't play as a kid, so it's harder to learn as you get a
Oh,
little
oh
older.
yeah,
And I'm taking way too long to learn stuff, but I'm making progress and I'm having fun doing it.
yeah,
But now, like I'm doing the Humvee project, the Battlewagon 4, and I've got some guns that I got to get some reviews out on pretty soon. I'm so far behind on lots of reviews, but one of my kids is going to go work at Philmont Scout Ranch this summer out in New Mexico and said, "Hey, Dad, can you come do a trek over the summer so that I'll get to see someone?" Because she won't be able to come home. It's too expensive. It's
yeah,
6 hours to get to the airport and 6 hours to fly home. That's a 12-hour trip, and at least $500-600 probably to pull all that off.
yeah.
So it's like you go out, you're staying out there till the summer's over. So I'm trying to get I've worn out a lot of my backpacking gear. Like the last trek I did, we came off the trail and I was like, well, those shoes are done. Like the shoes should have been done before, but I took them anyway.
Yeah.
And so I've got to get a bunch of backpacking gear and go out and do some testing before I go, do the group that I think I'm going to go with. It's going to be in July, and it's slated for 90 miles over 11 days in the mountains of New Mexico. And typically you end up doing about 1.5 times whatever you're slated for by the time you
Yeah.
do all your side hikes and everything. So that's going to be, 15, 16 miles a day of really rugged terrain, up and down, carrying all our stuff. So
Yeah.
I got to get my butt in shape. So I got to get in shape. I got to get my gear sorted. I need to get my truck finished. Like, I got so much going on. The guitar stuff is going to end up not getting as much attention. But like the two back here, that the thin line Telecaster, I bought it at 65. It's up to 95 now, and they're normally about 95 or 100. I got to get some more videos up on that on Amazon. The one beside it, that gray Stratocaster, was just under $100, $98 shipped. Freaking phenomenal, amazing guitar. Like, between that and that black Strat, like, if you want a cheap guitar that you don't have to be a guitar tech to set it up, either one of those will give you a good playable guitar for $100, which is insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's the deal. Guitarmageddon took over. I was not expecting that tonight, but I appreciate you being here. We talked so much about that. We never even talked about repeal the NFA. We didn't do Boo ATF. Kevin's not here, so we didn't do a patch of the week. I actually, if I can find it, I stumbled on a bag while I was looking for some camping gear and was like, oh, that's where all the little stuff I got from SHOT Show went. And I found a patch in here. Let me see if I can figure out which one it was. This one, real collector's item, 3-gun Kenzie. Not many people got one of those patches at SHOT Show. I was happy about that. And there it is. There's the other one I was looking for. So we are going to do patch of the week as kind of a dual thing. The little Ewok. And that is shtf50.com. There we go. I thought those were pretty cool patches. The 3-gun Kenzie and the Ewok both. So now
it never goes wrong with an Ewok patch.
Yeah, as long, even without Kevin being here, we went ahead and did patch of the week. So that's good. We got that wrapped up. All right. DJ says, play every day and hang in there when your fingertips and hands are yelling at you. Just play on. Well, I've done a lot of that to try to toughen up my fingers. I'm doing all right now. I'm getting there. I can do the bar chords. I just can't transition between them as fast as I'd like. Like going a regular chord or single notes going into a bar chord. Once I hit the bar chord, I can move it around. I can move that shape around a little bit. But getting into that shape is a little tricky sometimes. I end up getting slowed down on that, but I'm getting there. Yeah. Gee, I see what G-Webs is saying about putting Amazon videos up. And I may try that. I'll have to look and see what's on there. I suspect that the ticker at the bottom will get them disqualified because it talks about Sylvan Arms. And the show and being on everything. I suspect that'll probably get it taken down, but it's really not that bad. I've got the studio set up where I literally just turned this camera on, and the back, everything is set up like it would be, except let me turn this light off. That would not be on because where's the switch? There it is, because that changes my coloring a little bit. Anyhow, this is pretty much what I do when I shoot those videos, and I route from the multi-effects straight into the digital interface for recording, and I get a good clean signal off of that, and so it's pretty quick to make the simple videos that I'll put up on Amazon. So. But who knows? Maybe I can grab some out of this. That would be nice. $100 guitar, $20 luthier kit, weekend, afternoon, maybe evening, great playing guitar. Yeah, and that's something that if you're mechanically inclined and you can clean a gun or you can install a new trigger in an AR, if you can handle those things, you can do some of the little setup and upgrade things on a guitar. And it always amazes me when I hear people talk about, well, one thing that amazes me is people talk about taking the guitars to their luthier when they're actually just going to Guitar Center and paying the minimum wage guitar tech. A luthier is someone who makes guitars from scratch. They're a skilled artisan. A guitar tech is someone who bolts parts on and off and changes strings and makes adjustments. They are not the same thing. It's like the difference between a real gunsmith who makes guns and someone who swaps parts at the counter at your local gun store. They ain't the same person. I mean, they can be the same person, but it's a very different skill level. But simple things like changing the height of the saddles and changing tuners and changing pickups. Those are all things that you can pick up pretty easily. And there's videos all over the place. And yeah. Thank you. I've been working on those analogies a little bit. I'll never catch up with G-Web. He is an analogy machine of epic proportion, and I don't think I'll ever catch up. And I'm not being facetious, like for real. There are times that we're talking about Amazon and other marketing things, and G-Web starts throwing out the analogies, and I'm like, good Lord, I've got to write that down. Like, that's amazing. Yeah. Speaking of Amazon reviews, I'll be reviewing this Red Dot here, so I can get that up on there pretty soon. I believe the company is actually Red Dot, which is kind of clever from a marketing standpoint.
Oh yeah, it is.
But anyhow, I learned the hard way when I started doing gun reviews. Cheap optics were a nightmare because you could spend all day and you spend way more money in ammo than you would on the optic itself. You get a $30 optic, you spend $50 on ammo trying to chase the zero because as you shoot, the zero is moving around. So like I probably for the Amazon video, I'm not even going to shoot it. I'm going to take it out. I'll do a tabletop review with the downward facing camera. I'll move it around and point out all the features on the camera. With the camera pointed at it. Won't put it on a firearm because Amazon doesn't like that. And that'll be it for the review for that. And then I'll get rid of it. All right. I think we're pretty much caught up here on the, I don't know what Roberto Venn is, but I hear that it's a good school, according to DJ. And epic analogy machine. Yep, that's what I would call G-Webs. Definitely does well with that. Okay, man. I told Mrs. Gear-Report I was going to shut it down in an hour, and here we are wrapping up Guitar-Mageddon almost 40 minutes late. So, but I figure like I don't have any guitar tech training, and I was able to 3D print this and use real guitar parts and put this together, and it plays and sounds nice. And the same thing, well, you can't see the other one. It's on the floor down here with one of my other favorite guitars, because I have lots of favorite guitars. This one.
Oh, snap.
The Angus SG.
Gotta love me an Angus.
Yeah, I really, really like that one. But then this is the other one I was going to show is the other 3D printed guitar. Like I didn't know anything about guitars a couple years ago, and I put two together, and they play and sound great. So, and I'm not that smart or that skilled. So if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thought they were going to fall over. I always worry about that. I've got to get a quieter seat. I've noticed it is really loud when I try to roll it around here. Oh, and it fell over. Dang it. Don't you break, Gibson. Oh, wow. Unregulated 3D printed guitars with no serial number. Yep. I know. It's
Boo ATF.
Boo ATF indeed. Yep. Well, I don't want to play favorites. So, we'll do equal time, repeal the NFA, Boo ATF. All right. I think that's fair. Just in fairness.
Yep, I agree.
All right. And with that, I think I've overshot the hour by significant portion here. We're going to go ahead and shut the show down. Ghost, thanks so much for coming in. This was going to be a quick show since I was kind of solo. I'll tell you what I think I have noticed. TJ gets up really early. He gets up at like 4:30 to go into work because he has stuff to get done before patrons start showing up at the tennis club.
Yeah.
And he claims he's just too tired, and that's why he didn't show up. I think what's really wearing him out is he is now a member of the tennis club, and they go to all the social events there. And I think that he's just like, I can go hang out with bougie people and drink and smack a ball around, or I can go sit and, be on this podcast. And he's like, well, I'm going to go be with bougie people.
So you're saying that pickleball has a higher priority than you do?
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, it appears he's saying that, and I'm not sure that I disagree with him. But I think we've kind of lost it. I think that I mean, he shows up sometimes, but I think that his social life is kind of taken over at this point with all the cool people at the tennis club. Thanks. I appreciate it. I thought it was a fun show too. Thought it was all right to begin with, but I really enjoy when we get to shift into Guitarmageddon for a while because some of my people don't like to talk about that. So I appreciate you guys all showing up, wanting to talk about cool stuff. And with that, anything you have going on you want to talk about real quick before we shut it down, Ghost?
No, man. It's fun. Thanks for letting me come on and, hijack the Guitarmageddon for a little bit. I enjoyed it.
When's your next broadcast?
Be next Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
And on the main Ghost Tactical?
On the main channel, yeah.
All right. Y'all go check that out. And until next time, let me find the end stream button. We'll see you. Ooh, where will we see you next time? In the studio. Maybe? I don't know.